My name is Kanywa, and if you're the first time here, karibu sana. I'm excited to have you today for today's session, and how wide this creative community is growing. And if you are watching the replay later, you're almost part of the family. Just drop the replay in the chat box so I can know you passed by. Now, let me tell you clearly before we continue. This is a transparent live stream. And what I mean by saying it is a transparent live stream is there'll be no motivational quotes here. No gatekeeping, and I'm going to show you the real journey of becoming a graphic designer. The things your favorite YouTuber might not mention, but I will. The things design school they won't teach you. Well, okay, let's officially get started. We want to talk about the misconception of graphic design, or the misconception about graphic design. This one, this one made my early years unnecessary hard when I was starting my design journey. People think that graphic design is simply about choosing nice colors, using fancy fonts, adding a drop shadow in your design to look cool. But that's not the truth. Design is 80% strategy and communication, psychology, storytelling, and the problem solving. And maybe 20% of it visual. So I wish spend hours matching colors perfect, adjusting spacing, trying to make everything to look cute. Only for a client to ask me, but what is that message I'm supposed to get from this? And I will freeze because I had no idea. Example, imagine a client wants a poster that tells it's he or she wants a poster for a 50% sale. Maybe they have a discount of 50% sale at their shop. And you could design the most beautiful poster in the world, and gradients, you have included your gradient, neon colors, nice fonts. But if your viewers can't instantly see the 50% off that is in the poster at the location of the shop, the discount, then the poster, I mean, when I say that design is just a decoration. So you must consider that in your design. So at the client, don't pay for decoration. They pay for what you have delivered. They pay for result. And once I learned this, and not I doesn't limit myself in my field. I just have to be a strategist. The things in my field, in a broader based field. So everything changed. Actually, everything changed. And this is some of the misconception you need to know. The second one, you don't need an expensive gift. You don't need a MacBook Pro so as you can able to start designing. Someone may even starting designing with their phone by using Canva, which is web-based. and not really the equipment. Remember, you can hire an equipment, but you cannot hire skill. You can those are the tools. So I know a designer who built an entire portfolio using just only photopair in a cyber cafe. And today he charges 30,000 per logo. So don't let I don't have an expensive device be your excuse. Start and grow slowly as you go. These are things that no one could really tell you. Okay? So having an expensive gear is not really really mandatory. Okay. The third thing, the misconception about design. Client automatically know what they want. You should be able to know that clients and not the design. You will ask, what colors do you want? And they will tell you that make it pop. That's what they use. If you asked what style, most of that you just make it in a manner that it will be presentable. So when it comes to them explaining, then you must be that strategically you must be able to understand. You will sit there yourself and able to understand what the clients really wants. Okay, so a clients want to tell me that I want a logo that looks expensive. Look at this explanation. That I want a logo that looks expensive. I want a logo that looks expensive. I want a logo that is simple, but also traditional. Pro- Logos in one, like four different logos at once. But that's why your job is not only to design but to guide. If you are a designer, you must able to guide. You must ask question like, who is your target audience? Where will this be design used? This is a thing you need to know. Where will this design used? Where will what problem are we solving? And what emotion are we creating with our viewer? How does our viewer feel? So you are not a machine. Remember, you are not a machine, and you're a translator of idea. So keep that in mind. These are skills that you should be able to know when you are in such a field. These are the skills that you need yourself to get yourself familiarized with. The first skill is communication skills. You can have a world class talent, but if your communication is poor, you will struggle to get clients. You will struggle to keep clients and you'll struggle to explain your design ideas. Remember that design is communication. It is a communication career. And most designers think their work will speak for itself. And that is certainly wrong. It won't. If you're a beginner, the work it won't speak for itself. You must come up with a plan. Source. You put yourself well. Okay. So you must why you choose a certain color, like can you choose a certain color? Yes. You want a layout. You must learn to explain why you choose a certain color, why you use a grid or this type of structure in a certain way, why your logo solution worked and why a simple design sometimes is more effective. So you must get yourself in such a manner, you learn to explain all those things so as you can able to grasp responsible in each. So that's the thing you need to understand when it comes to communication skill, communicating well with the better side with the clients. You should avoid not avoid that. That is something that is primarily there. You can't skip that if you want to position yourself in a wider market. Okay, one time I remember one time a client. I sent a logo to a client. Actually, it was just I just sent an invoice, and that logo was clean. It was modern and it was simple. And what the client responded, they responded that this looks simple, and that what the client they say that this looks dramatic, and they say that they want something that is simple. So instead of arguing, I tried to explain. I explained myself. Instead of arguing, I explained. Your brand target corporate clients. That's the thing you need to know. And simple logos, they scale well. They look credible and they work across all platforms. So complexity may reduce trust. So that is the response I give to my clients. So those are things you should be able to know, and they must able to like communication skills. These are things that you must explain why you decided to come up with this type of design. Okay, so consider that, and I'm sure it will work. And definitely, what I after I have given him the explanation on why I decided to choose that type of design, then they accepted the logo immediately. So, what really matters there? Communication saved the day. The client's able to understand what I was really referring, what I was really trying to explain. So, the skill you need to know is time management. Graphic design is a juggling act. You must be able to understand that graphic design is a juggling act. You will have you'll have one client needing more revision. Another one will hand we need to have urgent changes. Then you will find another one is asking for a new project, plus your personal work, plus your portfolio. Even someone, this one they can ask even plus life. So time management is a survival skill. You must keep that in mind that time management works hand in hand when it comes to graphic design. If you don't plan yourself, you will drown. So use systems. Use systems that will help you to plan your time management well. You can use Google Calendar to plan your time well. You can use to-do list to plan your design well. You can use project boards. Setting deadlines. These are the things you must able to do them. And after setting deadlines, you must able to stick to them. Example, I once took 4 projects at once. I think I will manage. Instead, I delivered 3 late, and it lost me one client. So after that, I learned to schedule my work properly. These are things you should be able to know. Schedule your things properly. Stick to your deadlines. Use systems that can help you to manage your time well. Because time management is no longer essential. It's no longer optional. At this time, it's essential. So consider that when referring to time management. Time management will save you. Remember, I've told you that graphic design is not a juggling act. Keep that in mind. Okay? You need business skills. Remember that skill you have learned. Then you need to position yourself in a market. And no, if no one tells you earlier, like no one tells me this earlier. I've just found it myself. But no one tells you this earlier. No one could tell you that you need business skills when you have venture in any digital skill or something that you have. But graphic design is not only a creative job, but it is a business. Being talented is not really enough. Is it really enough? It's not really enough. You need to know how to price your work. You need to know not to be too cheap, because if you are too cheap, people respect your work, and not to be too expensive before as a business skills. So was able to consider. Clients love people who are more professional and they are too organized. So these are things you need to know when it comes to the business side of yourself to never get contract saves you jobs and contract it can even saves you a mental health. Recently listening to someone on social media, where he was really working for a county government. He was delivering, he was a clothes something whatever for the county government, and he he was not paid. So you should when you use contracts, when you sign for contracts, remember that contract saves friendship. Contract it position you in a manner that it can guide your peace and your energy. You must consider that. Then the thing you need in the business side, you need to negotiate with your clients. You don't have to be too restricted yourself that you are too fixed. You need to negotiate. Some clients, remember, they want discounts. Some want free works. Some need free works. Yes, and that's what we call pro bono work. And sometimes some people they want limited revision. So you must stand up your ground politely. Learn to negotiate in a better position when it comes to you in the business side of your hustle or your skill. Okay, so consider that. Then follow up. This is another thing we designers we usually like to forget about this one. We don't follow up. You must follow up like a professional, not emotionally, but follow up professionally. As simple to just checking if my previous stage works. Like you can be following up the client. Imagine you have been creating for him some social media posts. Does the post that I generated for you or I created for you, has it converted to the sales? Remember that the main thing is converting to sales. So really ask that if it has really converted the sale. So learn to follow up professionally and not emotionally. And consider that. I'll use example. I want to design a logo without using a contract. And client, like on the other hand, having a contract may ask for a deposit maybe of 60% or 50% just to guarantee you an assurance that the person you are doing the job you are guaranteed that after it he or she is going to pay you. So I once designed a project without having a contract, and the client kept requesting revision after revision, revision after revision. At the end, what did they say? Actually, they say they don't want my design anymore, and I got paid zero. So I learned a lesson. You must consider that when it comes to keeping contracts, keeping consider making deposits and something of the sort. The other thing is feedback handling. If you are too sensitive, if you are sensitive, design will test you. So remember that we are living in a world that is too wide. Okay, so everyone has its own decision. There are some people they don't want you to be in a position where they are. So think about that. Consider yourself in feedback handling. If you're too sensitive, design will test you. So, because some clients will criticize your work, sometimes they will criticize you gently, sometimes they will criticize you harshly, and that is what it usually happens. So, sometimes in confusing way. So, these are things you must able to know, and they are red flags, and you must learn to separate your identity from your design. Keep that in mind. You must separate your identity from your design. Your design being rejected does not mean that you're not talented. Example, I once worked for a brand for just 3 days, and the client saw it and said, I don't like it. No explanation, nothing else, the client tell me. But it hurts. Remember, it hurts? Yes, it really hurts. Because you have really worked hard, you have delivered, but the clients on the other side, on the other hand, what he really said that he says that what you have delivered, I really don't like it. Yes, it really hurts. But what I learned to ask the better questions. What does what part doesn't feel right? The color, the font. I learned to ask question. What, like, I came up and realized that maybe the things that the structure that I've used is not well conversant with the person that he is using. So the style that changed everything. So feedback is a tool. Remember that feedback is a tool, not an attack. Use well of a comment section. People, they are both negative and both positive. So consider filtering those comments. Get yourself in a position that you can able to understand. So there's the other thing you need to know. If you are starting anything, you must be able to know that the first year is usually the hardest. The first year of my graphic is not good. It's not glamorous as you think, but it's not what TikTok shows, because TikTok, they will show you more filters. Okay, so remember that in the first year of your design, you'll face slow clients, confusing price. How do you have not leverage yourself in how you position yourself, how you price yourself. Then the imposter syndrome comes there. These are things you need to know. People wanting, there's some people with the one free design. Yes, you'll find them. They are there. So these are the things you need to know when you get yourself in such a field. So the work for exposure traps. This one is another thing you need to know. And the moments you question your talents, the moment you start questioning your talent, that's why you lose hope. And this phrase is normal. It is really normal. The first year of your any project I do, like for me was my graphic design. It was not cute. It was pure glamorous. Okay. And in my exam, in my first year, I had weeks. I remember that I had weeks. Nobody texted me, and I posted my work online. I kept showing, and at times I could even get 3 likes, one from my cousin and two from my classmate, if I remember very well. So a client once told me, "Can you design me for free?" Yes, you'll find this type of people. Don't be shocked; they really exist, and they are there. And can you design for me? Like, can you design for free? We'll tag you on Instagram. That's what their response was. And my heart, it really broke and healed the same day. But that's part of the journey. The first day is like the gym. You are building muscle, but it is too uncomfortable because you'll stretch yourself so high. That's the thing. You'll stretch yourself so high, but if you push through, the second year will pay you back. Consider that, okay? This is a thing you need to consider yourself on when working in your design journey. Okay. So how to price confidently? This is a step-by-step explanation. I like to use examples so as you can grasp a concept whenever I'm talking. So most designers they lack pricing, and here is I wish I knew that value-based pricing charge that I need that value-based pricing, that you charged based on your impact. Consider that, not how long it took. You charged based on the impact or the scope of the work. Consider the scope of the work. If you are getting yourself into this example, if a logo helps a business to attract customers for the next 10 years, can you really charge it at 500 Kenyan shillings? Will you? Then definitely, of course not. Things in terms of value, things in terms of impact, and not time that you have used. So if you are delivering work, consider using that value-based pricing. It will save you a lot of time, it will save you a lot of energy and space. Then you will feel comfortable, you'll get more referrals. So those are things you need to know. Then they are said the other one is hourly and fixed charges. Is another one. You may charge it hourly. This one is, I like to say that you may charge it hourly because it is really good for revision. It protects you from minor task. Yes, this one it protects you from minor task, and it protects your time too. These are things you need to know. Pricing your work in Alima or in fixed packages. So what about in fixed packages? How do you price your work in fixed packages? These are good for logos. You must know that fixed packages. These are types of, you can charge this. It is good for logos, flyers, posters, even branding. It gives clarity, and clients love knowing the price upfront. Okay, so you may have this type of, like, I may use an example of packages. You may have logo design plus brand colors plus brand plus typography. Like it's all about like a full brand identity. So this is an example of a package. You can consider this one. Then social media monthly kit or social media kit. You may consider delivering it monthly or weekly. Consider that. Then compose. You may create a business card, you may create a social media banner, you may or a physical banner, or a wrap-up banner, or a poster. So this is a three combo. So this is a package. You may tell your customer that from the poster, I'm going to charge you around 1,000. For the banner, 1,000. The business card, 1,000. So you consider that as a package, fixed package. Okay, social media monthly kit. Then that is that logo design and brand colors, typography. Then this is the most essential part. You need to know when it comes to that. Then you must able to know that why cheap prices they attract. You must able to know when you price your work, your rate card. Like you must able the cheap prices they attract long clients, and clients who rush cheap clients, they attract clients who rush you. They attract clients who don't value design. These are things you need to know. There are some clients who don't value design. So they find the clients who want unlimited revision. They just want you to destroy your space. They want, like, you have generated a poster for, you have created a poster for him. So the clients want unlimited revision. Edit for me this part. That the card is so chaotic. So these clients, they are the one who disappear when it is time to pay. Remember that when you price yourself cheap, clients will think they are going to do, they're just doing for you a favor. And once I charged a client for 500 shillings for a poster, he called me 13 times. One day demanding changes. And when he charged 5,000, then the client barely calls. It's equals to chaos. So think about that. You must be able to know that cheap prices create a lot of chaos. But what about fair prices? Fair prices, it brings respect. It brings respect. Because I've used that an analogy. If you charge, don't price emotionally. And don't be afraid to say your price. Remember, it is your skill. Don't explain your price with essays. Be clear, and don't explain based on fear. Say it clearly. Yes, say it clear. My rate card for this project is about 20,000. Silence. Then respond. Remember that confidence closes deals. If you are too confident about something, it closes. Okay. So when it comes to avoid undercharging, don't price based on fear. You're the one who delivering. So another thing you need to know, if you build upon before price. This is the hack every beginner. This is the hack that every beginner needs. You should be able to know that. Nobody told me this early, but portfolio. You must be able to know that. You can create your own opportunities, and here's how beginners can build a strong portfolio, personal project. How do you build a portfolio? Or what is a portfolio? What is really a portfolio? You may type your thoughts in the comment section. What is really a portfolio? Portfolio is like a portfolio is something that it showcases your skills, like the project. Remember this in the market, so you must consider making the project that are more value that not value the projects that are more advanced, that you feel like when you expose it to someone can feel the value you are producing. So when it comes to portfolio, creating of a portfolio, remember that a portfolio it shows something that this one I can able to create. So consider that you must able to create yourself a portfolio before you start getting yourself into such a field. And this is the hack every beginner needs. You need to have a portfolio, and you do not need real clients. You do not need real clients to build portfolio. You can only create it by your own opportunities. You can rebrand something. You may even brand Coca-Cola today. You may say that this is Coca-Cola. Can I rebrand it? Okay, I did this Coca-Cola. I can rebrand their logo. I can rebrand that they use white and red color. I can rebrand them. The bright guidelines. You create a fake company, or you can start designing posters for things you care about. You may start designing example for church event. You may start creating a poster for a logo for your friend shop, a fictional concert poster, something like that, a party somewhere, a charity fundraiser somewhere. So these are things for personal project or passion project. These are things you need to know. Agi, I don't know you. Bro, I know you. Oi, really, I wish to know you. I mean, okay, so this is the passion project. And what exactly is the music, fashions, sport, maybe be it tech or anything designed for that niche. Okay, so consider that fake brands. You may create fake brands, and literally you can invent a company. Example, a coffee brand called you may design a coffee brand called Cow House. A luxury skincare brand, pizza restaurant, something like that. Create their logo, their packaging, their posters. So these are the things. Create their logo, their packaging, their posters, social media post. So then this is what you are portfolio. Okay, consider that. Then you need to create rebrands. Rebrands, this is where you may find something. You can take an existing brand. You can take existing brands. Okay, let me rephrase back. Someone in the comment section who has said that. What am I saying? What I'm really saying, like I'm explaining the mistake. Like I'm explaining the mistake or the things that I wish I knew before becoming a graphic designer. Okay, I'll make you a moderator once I finished explaining. Once I finished, I will make you a moderator. I will. Actually, I will. Let me refresh back what I'm explaining the things I wish I knew when I started my graphic designers. This it is feeling something that they are passionate about it. So I'm explaining to them things they need to know. And be with me, I will make you a moderator at the end. Actually, I'm almost done. So be with me. So I was talking about rebrands. I may take an existing brand that you don't like, you redesign it in your own way. Example, you can redesign a logo of maybe equity. Imagine that this is an equity, and case studies. Can you able to hear me, or my internet is too slow? You tell me if my internet is too slow. When you are building your self reputation, your name travels even when you don't know. So build your self reputation. Deliver the work on time. If you promise 3 days to your clients, deliver it in 3 days. Professionalism beats talents. Update clients step by step. If you are a web designer, you may be telling that your client within 14 days of creating a website, I will be done. So in that day, you could tell your clients, I have done finishing the homepage, I've done finishing the about us page. So give me time. I'm working for this and this. I'm able to deliver, to communicate. Don't disappear and don't go silent when things get hard. Remember that communication is key when it comes to exploring yourself in your field. And remember to keep your promises because trust is your. Remember, you are investing something that it is not for today, but it's something for the future. So trust is your brand. Keep that in mind. I'll use an example. A client once referred me to 4 clients, not because I was the best designer. Was that because I was the best designer? Not because I was not the best designer, but because I delivered earlier than they expected, and I stayed polite. Reputation, consider that. We get yourself in reputation. That is reputation. Okay, so consider that. Consistency over inspiration. Truth nobody wants to hear. You won't always feel inspired, and you won't always feel inspired. And at times you may open Photoshop and feel nothing. Remember that professionals don't wait for inspiration; they create consistency. Remember that consistently builds skills, they build confidence, and at times it builds style. Yes, consistency is what's making people what they discipline. So consider that. I used to design only when I felt the creative work, and as a result, I improved very slowly. Then I switched to design daily. I design daily, even 20 minutes, and that my improvement doubled. Remember that consistency is the same as motivational. It creates you in a position where you are able to understand. Remember that comparison, on the other hand, it kills progress. And social media is not real life. It is an highlight reel. Yes, you should not compare yourself. You should not compare yourself with other. Okay, live your own life, and you'll see designers with perfect grids, perfect color palettes, perfect mockups, and you'll think I'm not good enough. But in real sense, you are slow, and your designs really look basic. Okay, but here's the truth: most of those designers they use premium mockups, perfect lighting. They have built themselves in a place where they are good. Years of experience, they have well curated portfolios, and you are comparing yourself with someone who was chapter one to someone who is chapter 20. You're comparing yourself with someone who has 10-year head start from you. Okay. Example, I once almost quit because I saw a 17-year-old designer on Instagram making insane logos. Later, I watched their behind the scenes, only to realize they used mockups, their templates, and they had 5 years experience. Remember that someone having 5 years experience from, so it taught me that you must focus on learning, not comparing yourself with others. And this is where the trap is. Consider that it will position you in a place where you will enjoy, I'm sure. Remember that learning never stops. Realistic. Remember that learning never stops. Graphic design is the fast ever changing field. But continuously, you may learn as Coursera, Behance, Dribble. These are the Pinterest to give you an inspiration of something. Okay, consider that. I'm sure it will really work. Okay, I can use example. It's a day that I learned how to use grid properly. I started myself to on how to use grid properly, and my design level it just pumped instantly. One small skill can transform your entire workflow. So stay curious, position yourself in a manner that you feel like when I position myself in this manner, you are able to get potential clients. Never remember that learning never stop. Remember that creativity again is a muscle. And people think creativity is a gift, yet it is not. Creativity is a muscle. And inspiration. Observe packaging at supermarkets. Study billboards. Observe what they really have they used. Expand your mind, not just you may go yourself, involve yourself in chess, listen to music, build something that you feel like it is really worth it. Consider that inspiration is everywhere. I once got a practice consistently and you're creative. If you practice consistently, then your creative muscle grow. It really grows and it grows well. Okay. So remember that clients are not buying a logo, they are buying trust. And this is I'll use a bit of long explanation so as you can able to grasp a concept of each. Let me tell you something that most designers they don't understand until much later. Clients don't buy logos, they don't buy color palettes, they don't buy fonts, they buy trust, they buy clarity, they buy confidence, they buy direction. Okay, so you are just designing, you are helping someone, you're helping their business to look legitimate. Okay, so consider that, work on that. These are things you need to know. Okay, so what are the real saying? Make me feel safe, guide me, and avoid mistake to build trust. Okay, so you must listen deeply and understand their goals. Ask thoughtful question. Explain your process. Give clarity, not confusion. Okay, once a client trusts you, pricing becomes easier, revision becomes smoother, and communication becomes respectful. Clients buy designers they share, they feel safe with. Consider that. That's the thing which you need to know. That they're not buying a logo, they're just buying trust. Okay? So I hope you have grasped a concept towards the point that I have really reached. Okay? Then this is the revision. This is the revision game. We need to know that revision are not sign of you are a bad designer. Revision are normal. Even top designers, they stop working for Apples, Nike, Coca-Cola's, and that your client is refining their vision. You're helping them to discover what they want. Collaboration is happening. And example, I once did 7 revision for a logo. And was I annoyed? Yes. Was I part of the process? Also, yes. But you must protect yourself by setting clear boundaries, able to position yourself. You don't just get yourself in a position where you feel like your energy, your everything has been messed up. Okay, so consider working on that. Always clarify the number of revision. This is a thing you need to know. You should tell your client that my logo package include 3 revision rounds. Then you should tell your clients that due to the scope of work, my delivery timeline will take about 24 to 48 hours. This is a thing you need to know. The delivery timeline. What about the scope of your work? Remember that revision is include adjustments, not a full redesign. So this prevents clients from turning you into a machine because you can even work endlessly without limits. So consider the scope of the work. Revision are part of the job, but unlimited revision are not part of the job. But you can still charge it this unlimited revision from your clients. Okay, consider that, and you'll be in a position where you are okay. So the red flags you need to watch out if you have started your creative design journey. And this part is juicy because I'm sure that we all face this part. Here are the red flags that scream. And whenever you find this type of screen, you need to run. These are type of red flags that you need to know. We don't have a budget. What if a client tell you that we don't have a budget? What is the translation of that point? You don't have a budget. Really? We don't have a budget. The client is trying to tell you that we want quality work for free. If you don't understand that, I need something quick. What if someone tell you that we want something quick? It often means I did not plan. Now, if someone tells you that we want something before midnight, then that is something that we need to know that you are not an angel, you are a designer. Then you must protect your creative energy when it is come. Okay, so how to fire a bad client politely in a professional way. You must, this is a practical advice. You might try it somewhere. So you must fire a client in a most mature and professional decision. And how can you do that when you want to fire a client in a respectful manner? Okay, so you must keep it professional. You must avoid the emotion. You must avoid blaming them. You must use polite wording. Okay, you may tell him, the client, that thank you for thank you for the opportunity so far, and I believe I may not be the best fit to continue. Then you must finalize with a respectful exit. I, f- I finalize any pending deliverables and within the discussed scope of work. You may offer him or her alternatives. You may say, if you would like, I can recommend you to another design who may fit your style you are looking for. Okay? So learn to protect your mental space. Your creativity, remember that it matters a lot. Your peace matters. I remember I once find a client who used to call me around 10 times a day, even on Sundays, and I politely ended the contract in a respected manner. I still respected them and moved on. A week later, I felt lighter, more productive because of the burden, and more creative. So firing a client is not a failure, but it is sign of self-respect. Okay, so these are things you need to consider. Then you must build a successful design career. You must find your niche, what really fits you. You can be when it comes to this, you become unstoppable when you focus on your niche. You can start doing brand design, logo design. Like I usually do, I'm a logo and a brand designer. You can start taking yourself in social media design, packaging, motion graphics, advertising graphics, UX design, print design, typography, and so many other things. So consider yourself, get yourself in one of the two niches, then be unstoppable and be on when you get to that niche, be unstoppable or make yourself dangerous in such a field. My area of specialization is logo and branding. Okay, so a designers remember that a designer who focuses on logo design or a brand design may be being called the logo guy, and they eventually charge more because they see people will charge more because they have seen you as an expert. So focus on faster skill growth and high prices. This one will consider you in a better place to be. Then build yourself a personal. When I say you build yourself a personal brand, your personal brand is your resume. It's your shop. Post consistently. You may post yourself around 2 to 3 a week. Show your process. Show your behind the scene. People love to know the behind the scene of the work. Share small tips. Remember that what's something that it may be someone that he doesn't know. So share that small tips and teach what you know, even those simple things. Present yourself like a brand, and people really like that. I remember I once posted that on a simple tic- design on simple TikTok tutorial how to design a post in 3 minutes. And what the first fate of it, the design brought me three clients. People don't buy design, they buy personality. So the personality, the behind the brand. So be visible in your position of work. This one will position you in a manner that you'll be acceptable in your field. Okay, so consider that, work on that. These are the things you need to know. Then there's another thing, you need to network yourself. Networking equals to opportunity. Your networking determines your next job, so do this consistently. You may join Facebook groups. This will position you in a manner that you will find so many people. You may attend design events, attend networking events, connect with business owners, comment on others designers post. So build the genuine relationship with these people. It will save you a lot of time, and once you network yourself, you'll be in a position where you can able to get what is it or what necessary when it comes to your field. I once I got a client simply because I was commended nice color choice, and another designer so create connection opportunity. Consider that. Okay, so you must be able to treat your design like a business system. every designer need. If you want to grow, you must treat your design professionally. Build system like templates. Have that templates, contracts, invoices, pricing guides, or you may have your pricing guides, have the client kits, project folders, feedback forms. These are things you should be able to know. It makes you look organized. It makes it look when clients come to maybe your website or any or the place where they find it, they can able to understand your previous how you have been handling yourself when it comes to your field. Before I had a contractor, you could work for 2 weeks and then our mind, and that really lost everything. Okay, so the day I started using contract, then my stress really has improved the workflow of my work. Okay, so you need to get that. There's another one, the work life balance. Remember that you need emotional guidance. Burnout is real. Remember that people burn out, and burnout is real in this industry. You reach a point where your brain says, no more designing. Yes, it reaches a point. Set your creativity asking for air. Set that boundaries. Don't work every day. Don't reply to clients at 1 a.m. at night. Take breaks. Go outside, touch the grass, drink water, rest your eyes. Okay? These are going to save you a lot in your field. If you work yourself for 2 weeks, what could happen? You have been working consistently for 2 weeks, no breaks, no going outside, no exploring. So, what is the do you know what could be next? Your creativity could drop, and one day you reset everything. So my design stopped looking the same. And consider protecting your creativity. It saves you a lot. Yeah, it really saves you a lot when it comes to creativity. So these are things you need to know. Those are my design, like the things I wish I knew before I get into my design journey. And I'm sure you'll be able to grasp the concept. You'll be able to know things you need to know. These are things that I wish I knew. Someone could tell me when I was starting my design journey. So this is your moment. If you may drop your question in the chat section. Anything that about design, pricing. If you have something, anything about design, anything about pricing, tools, portfolio, I've got you, and you can answer yourself at the moment. If you have any question you feel like I need to respond back to, so as I can end my life, I feel like those are the basics when it comes to. Question you feel like you need I to respond back, maybe about pricing, maybe about clients, tools. I've just got you. Portfolio, anything. One before I end the session. Yes, you may tell me. I'm waiting for your question before I end. Hey Diana Princess. Okay, before we close, if you find the value for today, like if you find the value today, you may hit that subscribe button. You may follow me for all social media platforms at Canyon John, and you may turn on live reminders. You may share this live stream with another designer. Grab free resources that I have shared, the brand checklist, the portfolio, the starter guides, and more coming soon. And your support helped me creating sessions like this. Remember that design is not just skill, it is a mindset, it's a journey, and it is a continuous transformation. So if you won't figure anything out in one learning, keep experimenting, keep challenging yourself. You're not just a designer, you are a problem. Okay? You are not just a designer, you're a creative. You're creative. So thank you for hanging out with me tonight. I appreciate you. And I believe you. I believe in you. And I'll see you in the next live stream. Okay, so stay creative, stay disciplined, stay you. Okay, thank you and follow for more.